Gluware Control provides automation and orchestration of configurations for a broad range of network devices. It also provides a couple network utilities or tools like config drift and OS upgrade, which will help with the lifecycle management of network devices. Now, to get around between all these provisioning and lifecycle management tools, we have the solution switcher, which lives up in the upper right of the home bar and will always provide you immediate access between the different utilities, solutions, and tools. Let's look at the model editor. The model editor is where most of your provisioning action happens. It's organized in 3 different panes that are accessing different features and node elements of your network configurations. The features are small, medium, and large, or feature, domain, and globals. The nodes are, as you can expect, nodes. And what you'll see in the bottom portion, on the left are control types or blank templates. In the middle is the set of instances you've already created. And then whichever one you have selected shows up on the right in the form fill panel for customization and ultimately provisioning on the different nodes. There are 2 types of modeling solutions available currently within Gluware. One is pre-built advanced solutions based on either industry designs like SD-WAN or LAN switching, and then one that is config-based modeling, which is essentially based on the CLI, the existing features in your current devices. Here I've jumped to a config-based modeling solution, and we're looking at the different feature support. We have AAA and SNMP in this case. Now I have a form fill that has been created for this particular feature based on customer requirements that include username, group name, etc. These will be dynamically input into the CLI as it's provisioned onto the platform. And I also have the CLI itself, which is based on CLI groups and then CLI lists. Those CLI lists are exactly what you would expect, the actual CLI that maintains or makes up that particular feature. There's also a concept item that includes show commands, and you may have noticed I've been using the go-to buttons and the breadcrumbs to jump back between different elements of the device. So I've got my node, I've got my assembly where my different features are collected. They include the feature itself, which is the CLI commands, and then the form fill screens as appropriate. And now, in addition to giving you a brief overview of the config modeling setup, we've also talked through the go-to buttons, the breadcrumbs. We haven't covered, but there are also search filters that are available in all aspects of Gluware to help you to quickly hone in on the details that you want to look at, as well as the type maps. And the type maps gives you a visual representation of all of the different ingredients in your current organization. Shifting back over to the SD-WAN solution for a minute, let's look at some of the functionalities or panels on the right-hand side. We have the action panel where all the different provisionings occur. And you can select one or all or some subset, and you have a number of provisioning utilities and device utilities to select from. In the provisioning utilities, you have 3 different preview types, including CLI previews as well as provisioning log previews, provisioning itself, and then other miscellaneous functions like renewing certificates. In the device utilities is where you can do single touch provisioning or USB bundle based provisioning, as well as enabling and disabling different interfaces if your intent is to ship your platform configured but not allow people to use or access it outside of Gluware. Once you've done all that, you use the provisioning logs for any particular device to see what's gone on with that particular area. Here we'll take a look back over the last few months, as this is calendar based, and we can see all the different provisioning and preview cycles that had occurred. If we take a look at one of the provisioning cycles, it'll load up first 7 different levels of provisioning log of all the different interactions that went on between the device and the Gluware provisioning engine, or we can move over to the CLI format, which has both raw and processed, and all of the different entries there are organized by feature, in this case, routing feature, NHRP, etc. And this provides a handy means of taking to your change review board all the proposed edits that you intend to make on a platform before actually doing so. And you can download as well the provisioning functions or screen scrape them here, whatever is most convenient for you. In addition to the action and provisioning logs, we also have the terminal panel. Now, the terminal panel establishes a secure SSH session with the different network devices that you've configured in Gluware. You can use that session to then connect and check minor details or make minor configuration changes while using Gluware itself to do the primary provisioning. Once you've made those minor changes or done that quick check, you just close up the terminal panel and finish your actions within the model editor. Now we've done that overview. Let's use the solution switcher to jump over to configuration drift. Now what we use configuration drift for is to manage snapshots for the different platforms being managed by Gluware, and to keep track of and make sure that they're staying to the default image or the expected configuration state for each device. If there's ever a difference, we compare them to the default configuration to confirm whether the change is intended or not, and either restore the configuration using the model editor on the platform or promote that new configuration to the default configuration for that device. And over time or periodically, we generate audit reports that can be turned into audit and compliance groups to show that the configuration state of the network is what it is expected to be. Back to the solution switcher. System settings allow administrators to create support for LDAP, as well as create new users and organizations that are then populated with packages that include the network features, config-based modeling features, or the different tools necessary to complete the work for provisioning and configuring their different network devices. Now, let's make one last stop with the workflows. Now, the workflows for SD-WAN and LAN switching provide prescriptive directions on how to create components of the given networks. In this case, a branch would be created over these series of steps that allow the user to take basic information and create complex components of the network. That completes our general overview of the Gluware platform.